Okay, in my last video, I was talking about my labor story, and I had just gotten to the part where the C-section doctor had come in and had me sign that paper, I guess basically stating that if they needed to do a C-section, they could. They needed my signature. So, my midwife kicked him out of the room, told him, leave, and then they put me back on my left side, and then labor went very quick. Like, everything went very quickly. And, um, I went from, I think I was 5 or 6 centimeters dilated to 9 very quickly. And so then, um, what was it? They were very short that day at the hospital on staff. They didn't have any women come in to have a baby for 3 days. So there was only one midwife, no doctors there. I don't know why, that's silly, but um, except for the C-section doctor. Then there was not very many nurses, and they were just understaffed. And then they had me and another woman going into labor at the same time. She was in the other room. She was screaming. She was having her third child, screaming bloody murder. At the same time, I told the nurse that I needed to push. I said, my body's pushing. I had no control over it. My body started pushing. And before that, I went through the transition and I ended up puking, but since I hadn't had anything, I didn't puke much. Just dry heaves. Fun. And I told the nurse, I'm like, I need to push. Well, I swear they ignored me. It felt like 30 minutes. And then finally they got me ready, and the midwife was there, and she was taking care of me, and then all of a sudden they were like, okay, take her off the Pitocin. I was going too quick. And then they were like, baby pushes, baby pushes. And my midwife had to run over to deliver the other baby, which didn't take that long, but here I am trying to do baby pushes, and like my body's pushing. I had no control over it. I don't even know what baby pushes are. I think that's stupid. And like literally as soon as the other woman got done screaming and pushed out the baby, like as soon as she did, the midwife was like, "Okay, take care of this. I gotta go deliver another one." So she ran right over to my room and then sat there and delivered Cade. I pushed for about 30 to 45 minutes. Of course, it was a 20-minute mark where I wasn't pushing as hard as I possibly could. I know I could have had him out quicker, but since she had to go deliver the other baby, I couldn't. Next time I'm not gonna listen. I'll have my husband go down there and catch the baby if I have to. Um, so I hadn't been able to go to the bathroom all day long because of the stupid cords hanging out of me, so that freaked me out. So while I was pushing, I ended up almost peeing all over. Like it shot out right at the midwife, and so she put her hand up and didn't get wet. That was kind of embarrassing. My husband thinks it's funny, but I thought it was embarrassing. And they before I pushed out my son, she um, put numbing gel on me, and then the doctor came in and he had just gotten there, and he was like, "Did you give her any Novocaine yet?" And she goes, "No, not yet." And he goes, "You should." So then she shot me up with Novocaine down there. So then I didn't feel anything. I did not feel him crown. They're doing that to me next time. Cause that was nice. And I ripped a little bit, but not that bad. But he I remember so distinctly when his head came out, like his shoulders. I felt just the pop of him hitting my pelvis, and it was unbelievable. But it was as soon as his shoulders hit, within 3 seconds he was out. Like they just twisted him a little bit, and he went right out. And he was healthy. He started crying immediately, and they put him on my stomach and cleaned him up a little bit, and I wanted to leave the umbilical cord intact for a little while and let the blood keep on flowing through it, but I hadn't made that known before, and so they had already clamped it off. So I will make sure to tell them that ahead of time next time. and they didn't leave him on my stomach that long, and I would rather them leave the baby there next time longer. And they I think my husband told me yesterday he cut the cord. I didn't remember that. I thought he told them no, but he said he cut the cord. And so then they took um, my son and they went and weighed him and all that while the midwife was sewing me up. I had a little tear on top and a tear on the bottom, and she said it wasn't bad, but man, it took her forever to stitch me up. And on the top, it wasn't as numb, so I felt those stitches. I think she only did 2 stitches at top up top, but she was stitching me up. My feet were asleep because they were still in those stupid stirrups, and while she was stitching me up, I'm shaking. Like that's normal. I've heard for you to shake after labor, after you give birth. So I'm shaking like crazy. I felt cold, and my son's crying, and my husband's over there trying to get him calmed down, which made me feel really good that my husband was over there with him because then he wasn't alone. And they were cleaning him up and they pricked his foot and all that good stuff. Yeah. And weighed him, and he was 10 pounds, 3.8 ounces, and his head was 15 inches around. And I don't remember what his shoulders were, but you know those little cards that they take your baby's foot and they put ink on it and they put them on the card? Cade's foot almost didn't fit on the card. And he has huge hands. He had huge hands, and he still does. And he was a good baby. They got me all stitched up, and I decided that I'd let my husband hold him for a little bit. So I let him hold him, and then I took him while my husband went and told everyone, what about the baby. I was a little agitated. It just kind of left me, which was fine, because I needed to breastfeed, which there's nothing there but except colostrum, or I don't know how you pronounce that, but I needed to learn that. But I really, 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 after I did that, I wanted to get up out of the bed and go see everybody. I wanted to walk out. I wasn't in pain, and I felt really good. And they just left me and they didn't say anything. And I had been in that labor and delivery room from 7 in the morning until 7 that night when they decided to move me. I had my son at 4:04 p.m. and they left me in that room until 7 that night. And so I wasn't happy about that. My tailbone hurt so bad from laying there. And probably from labor too. But I was so stiff. And so I took care of my son, and a few people came in and talked to me. And then once they talked to us, then they took him to the nursery and cleaned him up, gave him a bath, and all that good stuff. Cade, I'm talking. And then, let's see, what else happened then? Yeah, every time he nursed, they had to prick his foot and check his blood sugar. And I'm not going to let them do that next time. I found out that I don't have to let them do that. And that's just really invasive. He didn't need that. He had no problems whatsoever. He was fine. And then he had a really big head. I love saying this. He had a really big head, but his head wasn't coned. Like right here was his soft spot, and it was just wrinkled a little bit. And I told everyone, I'm like, his head was 15 inches around. I'm like, and it didn't cone. It went like right through my cervix at 15 inches. I'm sure it was a little less since the soft spot was wrinkled. But then everything went fine. Nursing went fine. He slept well. He was a wonderful baby. And then when we brought him home the first night, I had a bassinet that I was going to have him sleep in. And when I brought him home, that night when I would nurse him and I put him to sleep, I laid him down in the bassinet and he woke right up. And then uh, Cade, go play. Mommy will play in a bit. Um, but it was about, I think I had been trying at 9 to go to sleep, and wasn't until midnight that I just finally asked my husband. I said, "Is it okay if he goes to bed with us? I can't take this." And so he slept in bed with us until he was about 18 months old. And yeah, but then I finally got him in his crib, and now he sleeps in a twin size bed. He's a big boy. He now weighs over 40 pounds. He is over 37 inches tall. He wears size 10 to 11 shoes, 5 toddler pants, and 5 toddler shirts. Well, most times 6 toddler shirts. He's pretty big. So he is going to be 3 November 10th, and he's a good little boy. For the past 2 days, he's been a little whiny, but he just hasn't been eating that much. I just don't have what he wants. He's very picky. So we go grocery shopping tonight, so that should help him. But it is past his bedtime, and as you can tell, he's not going to leave me alone. So I think I'm gonna end this video, and thank you for watching. I hope I told my story good. I really like telling it, so hopefully you all enjoyed it. And thank you for watching. Have a blessed day. Bye.